I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be ranking all of the enchantments in Minecraft from F tier, which is the worst, all the way up to S, which is definitely the best of the best. So, I have every single enchantment in this chest, and this is a bitch to make because I had to put the names of each enchantment on them so I could actually see which ones were on which tier. So, yeah, I hope this doesn't do bad. I hope people actually see this because this took a long time to actually set up, probably about 15 minutes to name all of these individually, plus I'm doing it on a controller, so it's even worse. So yeah, like I said, F is the worst tier, S is the best tier. If you've never seen how these things work, I just take whatever book and then put it in the tier that I think it should be in. And like depending on how good or bad the enchantment is. So let's start this list out. First we got Protection 4. Overall, very good enchantment. And I think it deserves an A tier. The only reason it doesn't get S is because it's only used for one thing, and it's armor. You can't put it on a shield, you can't put it on anything else. So it is a really good enchantment for protecting you, obviously. However, it does fail to do anything else on any other, thing. That doesn't make it a bad enchantment though. It's still a very good one. So it comes in a S. I mean A, not S. And the next one we have is fire protection. Now, fire protection, to be honest,
Get the fuck out of here. No rare.
okay,
Yeah.
So fire protection, to be honest, is only useful really in the nether. There isn't much places it's useful in. So because of that, it's going to get D tier. Not because I don't like it, it's just because its uses are only limited. If you're going to the nether, like say you're going to get a bunch of wither skulls, yeah, you'd want fire protection. Fire protection is good. However, in any other circumstance, it's quite useless. Because when you're going to fall into lava, when you have a water bucket that helps you out with anything like that. So yeah, like I said, fire protection, it's not that good. It's not that bad. It's kind of like average. It's not C though because of how bad it is. Next we have Feather Falling 4. Now I cannot like name how many times I've been saved by this enchantment. Gets a let's say A tier. It protects you from fall damage, however it's only on boots. And it does protect you from fall damage really good. You can fall probably double the amount you could without feather falling, so it's really good. It's a good enchantment. Deserves A tier along with protection. Let's go to the next one, which is Blast Protection. Blast Protection is going to get a D tier as no. It's gonna get a C tier. Mainly because Blast Protection can actually be more useful than Fire Protection, because if your creeper ever rolls up on you, then you're gonna want Blast Protection instead of having Fire Protection. And it's also very useful against the Wither, which on Bedrock is actually a really hard fight. So, god damn it, cat! Yeet! So, yeah, Blast Protection is not that bad. Good against the Wither, however, it's very situational, because it's not like you're always going to be, getting killed. It's good against the gas, too, although gas aren't that hard to take out, which is why it's C tier. So let's put this away, and let's go to the next enchantment. Projectile Protection. Projectile Protection is actually pretty useful. It's not going to get a B tier, though. It's going to get C. Projectile Protection is useful, and it's good against stuff like the Blaze, Fireballs, and, skeleton arrows and stray arrows, all those projectiles that you give a shot at you, like, especially withers, too, which is why it's C. However, it's not good enough as protection to get A tier or B tier even, so I don't think it deserves that. Although, I do think it's better than Blast Protection, but not by much, so it doesn't really deserve a B tier. So let's go on to the next one, which is Thorns. I don't like Thorns. It's gonna get an E tier, and I don't know if you're ever wondering why. You're probably like, oh, it's a really good enchantment. See, I would like Thorns, alright? But the thing is, it takes away like 5 durability every time it's used, because whenever you get hit and it actually damages the mob when they hit you, it basically takes away a lot more durability when that happens, which is why I don't like Thorns. However, though, actually I'm gonna move it up to D tier mainly because Thorns, it's not bad. It's just the durability. If you have Mending, it can work, but I just don't think it's worth it in the long run, so I wouldn't really recommend it, but it's okay, I guess. It's like, you might as well put it on if you're making an OP survival or something. So let's go to Respiration. So Respiration 3, easy B tier. Because Respiration, it's very useful for ocean exploration, but that's really about it. You're not gonna, like, when you're underwater for very brief moments, you're not gonna need respiration because, like I said, you're not gonna be underwater for very long. So it's not that useful. But for ocean exploration, especially in ocean monuments, when you run out of water breathing, it's very useful. So yeah, it's overall just a good enchantment to have. Although you could go without it if you have enough water breathing. So yeah, it gets a B tier. The next enchantment we have is Death Strider. Now, I'm going to give Death Strider an A tier because Death Strider is super useful. Its ranges from getting across the ocean probably just as fast or maybe even faster. I don't think it's faster, but basically the same speed as a boat. Not to mention that with Death Strider 3, I'm pretty sure you actually go the same speed as you do running and sprinting and like walking. And also really good for cave exploration when you need to get past water. But it doesn't get an S tier because it's kind of situational, but it's a lot useful a lot of the time. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the next one now. Next up on the list we have Aqua Affinity. Aqua Affinity, what it does is a lot of people think that it's the same thing as respiration, but it's just worse. But didn't do enough research. Aqua Affinity, when you're underwater, basically, without Aqua Affinity, you mine slower than you would on land. With Aqua Affinity, you mine the same speed on land. Now, there's no Aqua Affinity too, so you don't mine any faster. But I'm going to give it a C tier, mainly because Aqua Affinity, you don't really need it. Because it's not exactly useful. If you have an Efficiency 5 shovel, I'm pretty sure it's still Giga Drills as long as you're standing still. So it's not useful in a sense like you need it all the time. Because it's situational where you're only going to need it sometimes. So let's pop this in here. And let's get the next one. Unbreaking 3. Unbreaking 3, pretty good. I'd say it deserves a B because Unbreaking 3, honestly, it used to be it probably would have been an A or maybe even an S tier, but then mending became a thing, and mending is just like basically superior. However, it's still pretty good because it's nice to have mending, especially with an Elytra, because if you're flying for long periods of time and you can't mend it occasionally, you need Unbreaking to last longer, so it's actually pretty good. And it can help your tools last a lot longer. Next we have Silk Touch. I'm gonna give Silk Touch an S tier. S tier, I mean, Silk Touch is really good. In fact, probably one of the best enchantments. After you beat the Ender Dragon and you get your Ender Chest with shulker boxes in them, you can't have any other enchantment that you can actually transport them with. Not to mention that if you need grass to fill up a place so you can pave it with the shovel, or if you need to get some stone for stone bricks, it's the easiest way to go with Silk Touch on pickaxe. Sure, if you want only gravel too, you can get just gravel from a Silk Touch shovel. I don't think it does anything on an axe, but it's still a really good enchantment, and I praise it. It's one of my favorites, so I think it deserves an S. This is all my opinion, by the way, if you couldn't tell. I just don't seem to use the other protections. Next, we have Efficiency. Efficiency 5, a lot of people would put it at something like A or B or S, but to me, I don't think it's necessary entirely. Sure, it's really good for like late game when you're mining and stuff like that. However, I'm gonna give it a B tier mainly because efficiency, you don't really need it. That's the thing. All it does is speed up the gameplay, and it doesn't really do it much other than that. However, it's very useful for. I've seen sometimes where people like do the haste 2 efficiency 5 diamond pickaxe with a beacon, which is pretty good. It works really well there. So I think it definitely does deserve a B tier. However, I don't think it doesn't deserve A or S. So let's go on to the next one. Looting 3. Looting 3, easy, uh, easy A. Looting is a pretty good enchantment. It increases the drops on your sword, and overall, it's really useful for getting stuff like blaze rods, ender pearls, wither skeletons especially. This thing saves your life. Even though it's only a 2%, 2.5% increase, it's only a 3% increase. It still helps a lot. So therefore, Looting 3 gets a really good score. The next enchantment we have is Fire Aspect 2. This one's a bit tricky. Fire Aspect, it's not a bad enchantment. See, it's not horrible. The thing is about Fire Aspect is that it's sometimes useful, sometimes not. I'm gonna give it a C. Fire Aspect is good for like on a sword. If you can get it on a sword, you might as well. However, it's very hard to fight like zombies and stuff because if they hit you when they're on fire, then they will damage you. However, knockback does help this a little bit. But when you're fighting Enderman, it's horrible. They keep teleporting everywhere. You have no idea where they're going. It's hard to hit them, so it's not that good of an enchantment, but it's decent. Knockback 2. I'm gonna give Knockback 2 an E tier. What's wrong with it? Well, to be honest, it doesn't do much. Like, it just knocks the mobs back. It's good for, like, enderman and stuff, because they do hit a lot of damage, especially Vindicators and Creepers as well. But other than that, if you hit like a zombie or like a skeleton, it matters because the skeleton can still hit you from range, especially stuff like strays and pillagers. See, there's no point in that. So knockback is the knee. Although I wouldn't be mad about it if I got it on my sword. Bane of Arthropods. Oh boy. The first F tier. Now, what's wrong with Bane of Arthropods, you might ask? Well, I don't know if I have to explain much about this. It just sucks. Bane of Arthropods does more damage to 4 mobs in the game. And guess what those 4 are? Spiders, cave spiders, silverfish, and endermites. However, you only find 3 of those mobs in very rare circumstances. When you find a stronghold, get one from an ender pearl, or you find one in a man shaft. And spiders are the only ones that are actually like really effective for Bane of Arthropods. However, they're so easy to kill that sharpness 5 will just one-shot a spider if you critical hit it or just hit it normally and you have fire aspect, so it'll kill it. So there's no point in having Bane of Arthropods. Because unless you have a spider farm, like maybe they could add like a spider boss and something. Maybe if they had like a spider farm, like a spider boss or something later in the game.
Why would you put Silk Touch on the top, but you wouldn't put looting at the top?
I think Silver is more useful overall.
What a loser.
Whatever, Caden. So Band of Arthropods is the first F tier. I don't need to say much more. If you know what it does, then you know why it's an F tier. So let's go on to the next one, which is Smite 5. I'm going to give Smite a B. Smite is actually really useful. It affects mobs like, it does more damage to mobs like Wither Skeletons, Zombie Pigmen, Zombies, Skeletons. The Wither, which is probably the big, did I give it A? No, I didn't. The Wither is really, like, 8 fears Smite. Plus it does more damage to piglins. I think piglin beasts too. Are they undead? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, zombie horses, skeleton horses, all those undead mobs, it does more damage too. So yeah, Smite's really good. Zombie villagers too, baby zombies, very useful against those. Smite 5 can basically one-shot them, I think, too. So it's really good. Well, not the best. Sharpness 5. Sharpness 5 gets an S tier. I don't need to explain much, but basically just more damage to every mob in the game. It doesn't specialize on anything, it just increases your sword's damage overall. So it can go from 7 attack damage to 12 attack damage. Basically, making your sword do 2.5 more hearts of damage, I think. Which is really good. I don't need to say much more. It's an easy 8 S tier. Fortune 3. Fortune 3, easy S tier as well. Basically, double the amount of diamonds you get on average, plus amount of coal, lapis, redstone, anything that drops in items, like emeralds too. So yeah, easy S tier. There's nothing about it. Plus, it's not too uncommon either, so you can get quite a bit amount of diamonds from Fortune 3. Even Fortune 1 is good too. But you wouldn't want Fortune 1 over Fortune 3. Power. Power 5, I'm gonna give it C. Power is only good for... Wait. Never mind, this is Punch. My bad. What did I mean to grab that? Okay. I accidentally skipped over. Let's put this back. Okay, power. I'd give it a C, like I said. Power is only good for bows. However, it does one-shot basically anything it touches, which is why it's C. If it didn't do that much damage, it would be either D or C, E, because I don't think it's that good. However, it's not that bad either. It's pretty good, though, overall, for enchantment. So, yeah. Punch 2. Knockback equivalent to bows. However, this is actually good for bows because they're long range distance things anyways. I'll give it a D though because I don't think it's as useful. It's only for one thing and one thing only. Plus, punch just overall, you don't need it. I mean, you're gonna be fighting mobs at long range with a bow anyways. You're not gonna need to fight them at even longer ranges, so it just makes it harder. So I'm gonna give it a D. Flame 1, fire aspect equivalent to a bow. I'm gonna give it a C tier because, like I said, if anything is fighting you at range, then they're not gonna be able to hit you. So you can't even shoot an enderman with a bow, so it doesn't really matter against those. I'm just gonna give it a C tier. It's basically like the average. Infinity, I'm gonna give that a solid A tier. Infinity is really good for bows because you don't need any arrows. It just gives you infinite bow arrows. However, you can't have mending and infinity on the same bow. However, if you could, that'd be overpowered in my opinion. But yeah, you can't infinite. You can't have infinite tipped arrows too, so it's all good. Luck of the Sea 3. I give this one a B. Luck of the Sea can actually get you enchanted books like these over here, but it excels because you can get stuff like name tags, saddles, mending books as well from this enchantment. Something that you use on a fishing rod. So let's go to the next enchantment, which is Lure 3. Lure 3. Oh man, Lure 3. What's good about it? Not much actually. Lure 3 is kind of like a mediocre enchantment. I'm gonna give it an E tier. Basically, what it does is it makes you catch more fish often. Now, that sounds good on paper because like you get more fish, therefore more rare items. Although it doesn't really matter. It feels like you catch the same amount of fish regardless of what you have on lure. So I don't think it matters. It's pretty good though. And the next enchantment up is Frostwalker. Frostwalker is an F tier. Why? It can destroy farms. Plus, it's extremely rare to find, and it can cost a lot of emeralds to buy from villagers. And they're not worth the emeralds either. This thing, all it does is destroy farms. And sure, you can be cool, but if you can't even run and jump on the ice either, because you'll fall off the ice, so it just sucks. Frostwalker can die. I don't like it. But yeah. Mending. F tier, no questions asked. Repairs your tools with experience. So you basically, they never break. So yeah, doesn't even need any more explanation. Mending is an S tier. And yeah. Impaling. E tier. Why is an E tier, you may ask? Does more damage to aquatic mobs. Drowns do not count, so they suck. It only does more damage to guardians, dolphins, fish, but fishes are normally one-shot with any trident. So why would you have impaling when you could have something like sharpness on a sword, which is just by far way better? However, when you're raiding an ocean monument, you do want impaling. However, most people don't raid ocean monuments because of the shitty loot. And it's basically kind of a useless enchantment that nobody really needs. Unless you're raiding an ocean monument if you want to make it really easy. So yeah. Overall, not exactly that good. Next we have Riptide. I like Riptide. And this is kind of like a biased opinion, but I'm giving Riptide an A tier because Riptide's actually pretty useful for getting up mountains and stuff if you have a water bucket on you. If you have a water bucket on you, you can get up giant mountains with Riptide because of how high you can go. You do take fall damage though, which kind of sucks, but it's still a really good enchantment. It's just fun to mess around with too. It also doesn't break farms like Frostwalker does. Free Frostwalker. Anyway, so go to the next enchantment. We got 5 left. Loyalty. Loyalty. It's really only good for you know, Trident. I'll give it C though, because loyalty it makes a Trident come back to you. Although I do think a bow does what a Trident does, but way better. Although Tridents are really fun to mess around with because you got stuff like Riptide on it. So yeah. Channeling. Channeling is the only way you can. Well, not the only way you can get mob heads. I'll give it a D tier because I don't know if it does any more damage to a mob. It's just not that good, and it's only useful in very specific situations. It has to be raining and thundering. That's how specific the situation is. Although it is very useful though when it's doing that. Paired with something like Impaling 5, I think it does do pretty good. However, it's not the best enchantment you could possibly have. It's decent. It's just not that good. Multi-shot. Multi-shot gets a E tier. Crossbows in general just are not good, so I don't think they deserve any of their enchantments to be at least S or A or whatever. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it at all. Just saying. Basically, it just makes your crossbow shoot more, but it doesn't do more damage. Piercing. I don't know. God damn it. It keeps doing that stupid thing. Piercing 4. Very specific, and it gets an F because of it. What it does is if 4 mobs are in a perfectly straight line, yes, they have to be in a perfectly straight line, or at least close enough to it, it'll pierce through and damage all of them. Now, I'm not sure if it does the same damage to all of them, but if it doesn't, then it's horrible. It doesn't make sense why you would have piercing. And because it's a crossbow enchantment, it doesn't really do much. Okay? It's not that good. So it doesn't deserve a good rank. And this is the final enchanted book, Quick Charge 3. And what does it get? An E tier. Why, though, you may ask? Quick Charge, all it does, and all it succeeds in, is really... There's one thing it does. It basically reduces the amount of time you need to pull back and fire a crossbow. But like I said, crossbows are already bad enough as they are. Plus, their enchantments can't be put on bows or tridents to make them even better. If this enchantment could be put on a bow or a trident, then it would actually probably be at least C or B, mainly because it's useful on those. But it's not. So yeah. So let's go over my list. On F tier, very bottom, we have Band of Arthropods, Frostwalker, and Piercing. On E tier, we have Knockback, Lure, Impaling, Multi-Shot, and Quick Charge. On D tier, we have Fire Protection, Thorns, Punch, and Channeling. On C tier, we have Blast Protection, Projectile Protection, Aqua Affinity, Fire Aspect, Power, Flame, Loyalty. That's it for C. For B, we have Respiration, Unbreaking, Efficiency, Smite, Luck of the Sea. For A tier, we have Protection, Feather Falling, Death Strider, Looting, Affinity, Riptide. And for the best of the best, S tier enchantments, we have Silk Touch, Sharpness, Fortune, and Mending. So that's my list. If you guys want to suggest anything else, I might have missed an enchantment. I'm not sure. Maybe this is what? Aw, that's cute. So this is my list. I don't know if you guys agree with it, but if you do, that'd be nice. Just leave your feedback, I guess, in the comments or whatever. You know, you don't have to leave a comment. I'm not a greedy bastard. Um. So yeah, if you don't like my list, that's your opinion. I am entitled to my opinion. So is everybody else in this world. I just don't think some of these down here are not that good. Although they're very situational. But yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself. So I'm gonna end the video here. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you don't have to drop a like. I don't care. Yeah.